The basic mechanism of psychoanalysis is that the prohibition of the desire turns over into a desire for prohibition. These are classical obsessional symptoms. You have rituals to keep at bay what you are afraid to be, but then you begin to enjoy this very oppression. So here, for me, is a classical example of how what both poles, trans ideology and biology's determinist ideology, what they miss. What they miss is precisely the dimension in between, which is the topic of psychoanalysis. Can I conclude? Maybe you know it, and then I'll give you all that, with another example that I love. You know why I love it? Maybe you know it. Because it concerns my own, as your beloved President Trump would have put it, ex-president, I hope not the future one, shithole of a country, Slovenia. You know that Freud had permanent contact with Edoardo Weiss, an Italian psychoanalyst who worked in Trieste, close to Slovenia. And Edoardo Weiss, Italian psychoanalyst, asked Freud for an advice. He said, I have two patients with the same symptom, total impotence. One is an upper-level, very cultivated Italian who is impotent because his wife died and he feels somehow responsible for his wife's death, and superego pressure you are prohibited to enjoy. Then Weiss says to Freud, then there is a Slovene guy, totally corrupted, incredibly corrupted, 20 years old, lying, cheating. Weiss discovered that even he cheated even with psychoanalysis. His father, of this corrupted Slovene, gave him some money to pay the analyst. But the Slovene guy told his father a higher sum of money so that he profited from this and so on. I mean, now this is, the first case is too simple. So what? Yeah, you overcome this, you somehow through analysis convince the patient, the Italian, that his impotence is psychologically caused, you redeem him, you allow him to get rid of his guilt feeling, he will be again able to have so-called normal sexual life. But the paradox of Slovene is that he was practically without any ethical ideas, totally permissive, doing whatever he wanted, and he was totally impotent. And you know what Freud says? Freud says, this Slovene is so corrupted that our psychoanalytic art cannot yet cope with people like that. I think that this is where we are today, in this precise paradox, how permissiveness itself leads to growing, rising impotence, frigidity, and so on and so on. At this level, I think psychoanalysis is needed at different levels even. At the level of not only, as people think, of understanding today's religious fundamentalism, not only at understanding how well-intentioned feminist actions like Me Too, which I think I totally support, but you know who is the founder of Me Too? Tarana Burke, no? And you know that she now attacked these new forms of Me Too. Why did they go wrong? Another thing where psychoanalysis is needed, especially psychoanalytic theory of, as opposed to oppression, repression, of not denial but disavowal, fetishist disavowal. Its formula is, je sais bien mais quand même. You know, I know very well what the truth is, but nonetheless, I still think there is something in it, and so on and so on. And we found this logic in numerous examples, like the typical anti-Semitic guy today will say, I know there are nice Jews, intelligent, I know many of them, I know, and then comes, but still there is something strange in them, or whatever. You know, racism functions like this today. What I'm saying is that today, as me and my colleagues in Slovenia developed, we are in an even more complex situation. It's no longer, I know very well, but it's, I know very well, and so what? I go on doing the same. You know what was the model for me? Look, two problems are today not repressed. Take the Glasgow conference 2 years ago against global warming. They were saying all the right things, in principle, not in details. Like, you know, global warming is a phenomenon to cope with it, we will have to change radically our entire society and so on, economic, political, social level. But it was already said in a way which included that nothing will follow. This is what I call, following the German philosopher Peter Sloterdijk, cynical reason. It's no longer, I'm doing it, although I don't know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing, something horrible, but so what? Still I'm doing it. And this is so shocking for me. In art domain, since I see some paintings behind you, this is art, I don't want to have anything with this big art biennales, Venice, Kassel, and so on. Because I sometimes look at their program. It's even extremely vulgar colonialism, anti-colonialism, Marxism. They usually begin with, we are all caught in the circulation of capital, we should fight it, we should decolonize art, blah, blah, all that. But precisely as such, this art biennales fits perfectly modern capitalism. So it's a very strange situation where you say the truth, but at the same time, you render the truth ineffective. It doesn't matter. It's not enough to publicly tell the truth. And this is also a big lesson of psychoanalysis, that in his early years, Freud thought, okay, I explain your symptom. The moment you know it, the symptom will disappear. No, Freud got instantly in a couple of years there, in around 1905, I think, into this that no, truth cannot be directly declared. There is a way to tell the truth which is the deepest lie. Truth must be said in a socially efficient way. And this today in our permissiveness is becoming very difficult. I talked too much, my God. Now please grill me.